Hello everyone, this is our Prophecy, and in this video I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks on how you can be successful in the Scholastics Art and Writing Contest. For those of you who don't know what the contest is, it's basically a contest where you submit any piece of artwork you have or pieces of writing you have, and you submit it through the Scholastics Art and Writing website, and it basically gets scored, and you can win either honorable mention, silver key, or gold key. And if your artwork does get a gold key or gets a national key, you can win like scholarship. You can win scholarship money, and art schools will definitely be hunting you down after that. So basically, to give you guys some credentials on what I won during high school, I won 3 gold keys, a silver national key, and a silver key portfolio my senior year. So I have quite, I'm not the best, but I have been quite successful in the contest. So, and I've definitely, with each piece I've submitted, I've definitely noticed, with the ranking that I got, I noticed a similarity between the pieces. And basically, I understand kind of the reason why I got what I got. So, to help you guys out, I'm gonna give you guys those tips, because I feel like a lot of people don't know the pattern. So before I give you guys the tips and advice, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of background on my Scholastics art journey while I was competing during high school. So the first time I submitted a piece of artwork was my sophomore year of high school, and I submitted it because it was mandatory for my art class. Like, it was supposed to be like in a quarter grade or something. So I only submitted one because that was all that was required. And I honestly wasn't expecting much of my piece because, like, I've never won an art contest before. So I just submitted it because I had to. And basically, when the results came back in January, I received a gold key for my piece, which was very unexpected. Like I said, I never won any sort of award in my life. And not only that, but in my region, the Northeast Florida region, there was about 3,000 kids that entered, right? And out of the 3,000 kids that entered, my piece ranked number 8 out of the 3,000. So that was very surprising to me. So yeah, that was the first time I ever won anything. And also, with that award, I also got a SCAD scholarship, which I don't know, I think it was $10,000 I got from SCAD. So that's something else you can receive if you enter the Scholastics Art and Writing Award. So that's an example of a scholarship that I won. The second time that I entered the contest was my junior year. And that time I entered 2 pieces. I submitted one portrait. It was a graphite portrait. And the other piece was kind of like this semi-realistic surrealism piece, kind of like a girl. She's like split in half, and there's like a floating eye, and it's kind of weird to explain. I'll probably have a picture up here somewhere. And both of those pieces both got gold keys. And not only that, but the weird looking piece got a silver national medal, which again, wasn't expecting at all. But I obviously I was really happy about it, and my teacher was really happy because none of his students ever got a national medal before. So he was happy as heck. And then the last time I entered Scholastic was my senior year, where I submitted this kind of digital artwork portfolio, which probably wasn't the wisest idea because I wasn't that great in digital art, but I submitted it anyway, and I got a silver key for that portfolio. So that's basically the little rundown of my experience. Now I'm going to give you guys the tips and tricks on how I was successful all of those times. So if you guys see me looking down, it's because I'm looking down on my little bullet list right here. That way I don't miss anything. But the very first tip that I've noticed, especially with the pieces that won above a gold key, that like were ranked really high and got a national medal, was originality and creativity. You want to give the judges something they've never seen before. Like something, like let's say you're doing a piece about depression. You've probably seen a million people crying, pictures of people crying. Like, you want to do something a little more than that. You want to, it's really, I can't I don't want to give you guys any ideas because you guys need to come up with the ideas on your own. But you want to give them something more, something they've never seen before, something that really encapsulates that emotion or whatever you're trying to portray. Another thing that I also recommend is trying to stray away from like the average topics like again, depression. Don't be like cliche about it. Like give them something, like I said, that's unique, that they haven't seen before. Maybe like a different color palette or a different sort of visual or a different perspective of what you're trying to evoke in your art. Like whatever that feeling or emotion you're trying to evoke. Try to give them a different like a different perspective on it. So also with my pieces, both of the pieces that were really successful, they were both kind of surrealistic, you know? Like one of the pictures, it was like a girl with holes in her body to kind of represent emptiness. And one was kind of like a person split half and half to represent like dissociation. So, you know, that's kind of like an example of like different ways that you can go about those feelings. So just try to evoke an emotion, but at the same time, like, make it different. Something that you don't see every day. Because, trust me, these people, there's millions and millions of kids that are making the same artwork all of the time. And you don't want to be one of those kids that's like, oh, this looks nice, and move on. Like, you want to stand out, especially if you want to win big in this contest. The second tip that I highly recommend is basically give a piece of artwork that you can tell has a high skill level in it. Like you can tell you worked really, really hard on it and that you didn't just half do it last minute. Like no, you actually spent like weeks to months on it. And you know, I guess another tip would be starting early, and that way you can have a good quality piece. But you know, in high school there's a lot of stuff going on, but you want to start, you know, as early as possible. That's what I recommend. That way you don't have to like rush doing artwork because it's going to come out looking bad. You don't want to do that. Another thing that I noticed with Scholastic, I'm not trying to be biased towards different art styles or anything. Like I'm not biased. I love cartoons and all different art styles. But what I've noticed with that contest is that the more your style is towards realism, the higher the ranking usually is. I'm not saying that you can't get a gold key if you have a cartoon piece or anything, but what I've noticed, like, the more realistic your piece is, the higher it is in ranking, the more scholarships you get. I don't really know why, because, you know, I kind of do know why, because they want to see how good of an artist you are for your age as a teenager, but I don't know, I think it's a little biased on their part, but it depends. You know, you can submit. I've definitely seen people who've won gold keys and submit cartoons. Like, I've definitely seen it, but when it comes to like winning scholarships and winning national medals and stuff, I don't really see a lot of people submit cartoons and win that high. So it just depends what you want. If you want to win the highest you possibly can, I recommend sticking to realism, but hey, that's on you. That's just a tip that I've noticed, and that's something I noticed with my own artwork, because my artwork is naturally more towards the realism route. So that's just something to keep in mind as you're making these art pieces. So the third tip is to stick to a medium that you're good at. And for me, the medium that I feel more comfortable with is colored pencil or marker with a little bit of colored pencil on top of it, or graphite. You know, graphite and charcoal are comfortable for me as well. And those are, when it came to like winning all my gold keys, I always stuck to something that I was comfortable with, and that, you know, that helps a lot, because again, you can produce a higher quality artwork, and you know it's going to come out good. A mistake that I made my senior year when I submitted my portfolio was that I decided to do it all digitally, and I honestly wasn't that great at digital art at the time. Like, I just got a tablet not too long ago, but at the same time I kind of did it last minute, and so I knew doing digital art would make the process faster, and I still want a silver key for it, you know, but I feel like if I would have not waited to the last minute and done it in colored pencil, something that I was comfortable with, it would have came out way better. So that's what I recommend, taking your time with it, like giving yourself all the time that you need, and doing a comfortable medium is the way to go. You don't want to like start experimenting with mediums that you've never tried before and then put in the contest. Like, it probably most likely will not come out that great. So I don't recommend that you do that. Really try to stick to something you're comfortable with. So the kind of another little side note that I want to add is that if you take tips 1 and 2 that I mentioned, so tip 1 was basically about creativity and originality, and tip 2 was about, the skill level. If you, let's say if you know that your skill level isn't that great, or maybe you don't have enough time to make a good quality piece, but you know that the idea that you have is really, really cool and good and something no one's ever seen before, you can still get a gold key for that. And also on the other hand, if it's really hard for you to come up with ideas, but your skill level's there, and you just submit like a portrait or like a figure study or like a still life, you can still get a gold key for that as well. However, if you can somehow conjure up the ability to do both of those things at the same time, you can get a really high ranking in the contest. You can not only get gold key, you can get really high. You can be like the top 5 in your region. And I know in my region, like I was number 8 first year, but if I was in the top 5, I could have gotten like a $20,000 scholarship to like a local university. So that's why you want to try to really rank really high in this contest. You can win a lot of money. And also you can also get a national medal. Like I won a silver national medal, but I know if you get a gold national medal, you get like a free trip to the actual national award ceremony, which I know the other year, like the year that I got my national medal, it was in Carnegie Hall in New York. So you can get like a free trip to New York and to the award ceremony. So that's really, really cool if you get that gold national key. So that's why, like I know some people don't really care about the national key that much, like they just want the gold, but if you, like I said, if you follow those 2 main tips, the creativity and the skill level, put them together, you can score really, really high in this contest. Like that's the key to it, really. There's nothing much to it after that. I'm about to say some other sets of tips, but these tips are particularly more towards your portfolio, and those are only submitted when you're a senior. So for those who don't know, the portfolio is 8 pieces. I think you can only submit 8 pieces. And the first tip that I want to say is that make sure all of your pieces are similar in theme. You don't want, one to be about the Great Depression and the other one to be about the Renaissance. I don't know. That's a random thing that I made up, but like if your theme is like the love of parents, I don't know, make sure that every piece that you make has some sort of parenting element, some children with the parents or something like that. You want them all to be different but similar. Like they're all telling that similar story. You just don't want something to look like, look like a sore thumb, you know what I mean? You want it all to look very cohesive. And I know on the website, they say that you don't have to make similar looking pieces for your portfolio. They say it's not mandatory that they're all the same medium or anything, or that they're even all the same theme. However, I would recommend that you guys, make everything similar. Take in consideration the tips that I just said, because I realized like the portfolios that do score really, really high are thematic, do have similar color schemes, do have similar styles in each piece of work. Like the ones that are all similar, those are the ones that score higher. So I recommend that you do that. Like make sure they're all the same. If you try to, you could probably get like a silver or honorable mention, just doing whatever you want for each piece, but you're not gonna get a really high score. So that's what I recommend. Oh, another thing that I almost forgot to mention is basically when you submit your portfolio like online via the website, there's going to be an artist statement that you have to write. And basically what the artist statement is talking about basically how you made the pieces, basically the whole journey, like how you made it, what was your inspiration, and what were the emotions you were trying to convey, and just basically everything you went through, both physically, mentally, and emotionally in order for you to make those pieces. And I really recommend that you take your time and try to write a compelling artist statement, because I feel like, especially if you're doing like a really hard topic in your pieces like depression or war or suicide, or I don't know, something, especially something darker, you want to like it's really compelling to the judges when you make a really good artist statement like that. And like I feel like it just adds more depth to your work, you know, when you know the background of it. So, you know, I'm not a writer or anything. I can't really tell you guys how to write a good artist statement. There's a whole bunch of websites online on how to do that. But it's pretty easy. It's nothing like, you don't have to be like an English professor to write a good one. Just write about your process, your inspiration, and stuff like that. And if you write a good artist statement, I feel like that helps a lot in your ranking. I don't know if the judges will also base upon the artist statement, but I feel like it helps a lot. I feel like it helped me a lot, because I don't know, I just feel like when I won that Silver Key portfolio, my artwork wasn't that great, but I feel like last minute I wrote a really compelling artist statement, and I think that kind of made the judges think twice about my pieces. So definitely recommend that you write a good one. I hope you guys like and subscribe to my channel for more art advice like this, maybe not specifically containing to Scholastics, but just about anything. And I hope you guys have stuck around and comment. Like, also, if you guys have any tips on how to win, put them in the comments below. We love helping one another. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.